Mike Penix Jr. made a statement today, wrote a first-person open letter from him to NFL general managers, flat out putting in the Players Tribune today a note to NFL general managers about his injury history. This is the red flag that has been talked about with him. A number of times I hear, great kid, throws a great ball. He really has the abilities to be a terrific quarterback in this league. But, and then they'll talk about his injury history involving knees and shoulders. It's like the head, shoulders, knees, and toes, but conversation. And that's what you hear about Michael Penix Jr. And then we had our friend from Good Morning Football, Peter Schrager, go through his mock draft. And Penix doesn't even get taken in the first round. Then you see Jeremy Fowler, who was our guest on Thursday on ESPN, say another thing that I heard over the weekend. You know who likes Penix? Atlanta.
Ooh.
At 8. And that they're all set. They got their team. They even have their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, for whom Adam Schefter's tweeting about today. And Schefter is slated to be our first guest from Detroit on Wednesday. Schefter's saying that Atlanta might get hit for tampering charges on Kirk Cousins, and it could happen in the next couple of days. Now, of course, everybody thinks that if they take draft choices, it ain't going to be the 8th overall pick, I'll tell you that. But they like him, they dig him, they flew up to watch him go through his pro day in Washington, and then flew out. They just went to take a look at him and then flew out. Raheem Morris and Fontenot and the whole crew. Why would they do that? I'm telling you, it's crazy talk going on. And Penix was talking about how the injuries mean nothing. Hasn't he proven that he's come back from his injuries? Hasn't he proven with what he's done in Washington for his old offensive coordinator, Kalen DeBoer, what he did he points out in Indiana, he was the quarterback when the Hoosiers were ranked 7th. And he talked about how he beat Michigan in that time. I didn't like that part, Mike. And he talks about how he grew up, where he grew up, and how he had his school that he had committed to for 2 years verbally pull his scholarship right before it was time. And that's why he went to Indiana. And then he goes to Washington, and look what he's done. I loved his final line. Did you read this statement? Again, it's a letter to NFL GMs by Michael Penix Jr., dated today. And it finishes, this is a great line. Well done. It wrote, so I have no problem taking all the MRIs and X-rays you ask of me. Because he also says this isn't a solo journey for me. And he said there's been plenty of other guys who are cut from the same fabric, who experienced the same challenges and displayed the same resilience. Guys you would have lost money on if you bet against them. Guys like Thomas Davis, who went on to make 3 Pro Bowls after tearing the same ACL 3 times. Guys like Frank Gore, who had a 16-year Hall of Fame level career at running back after tearing his ACL twice in college. So I have no problem taking all the MRIs and X-rays you ask of me. Truth is, it's an EKG that will tell you everything you need to know about me. Mike.
Dog in him, TJ.
So you're wondering, would the Vikings take him if he's there at 11? Would the Raiders take him if he's there at 13? I also heard from so many information folks in this business. Remember, Chris, you said last week, and what's more likely, what will happen more, defensive players taken or trades up into the top 10?
Yes.
And I said defensive players taken.
You did. Or then you said, maybe there'll be one of each.
Maybe one of each.
Yeah.
I'd like to redo that.
Oh, an amendment.
I'm hearing multiple draft trades.
Into the top 10.
Into the top 10
baby.
and throughout the top 15 off the rails on Thursday night.
Let's go.
I'm hearing that.
Now we're talking.
or it might not happen. But the last 24-48 have been nonstop chatter after radio silence. Radio silence now, nonstop. Are you hearing this? Are you hearing that? You may not. You won't believe who would be interested in a quarterback. You won't believe who might trade up. And I'll just still stick with it. I mean, Penix might not be there halfway through the first round.
Well, Chris Ballard told us last week.
Well, he wants all 6 to go.
Phones are open.
Well,
Guys are calling each other because the door is always open. You never
15.
know.
He's 15.
What's the offer? Okay, hold on. Let me get back to you. Guys are talking right now. Love it. This is what I want. I want rumors. And then I want action.
And one of the thing about Penix, and we'll talk about it because his throwing coach is currently sitting in our green room right now. Same thing with Jaden Daniels as well. John Beck is going to join us in studio, hour number 2. But Penix is processing. Remember I told you Marshall Faulk was sitting with me for the national championship game, scaring the hell out of me, talking about how Penix can figure out defenses pre-snap, unlike many other college kids.
Were you thinking about asking him to leave?
No, never.
Hey, Marshall, there's the door.
Never. He brought the wine.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm telling you, processing head up, neck up, he's really, really good. If not, maybe the best. He throws the prettiest ball.
You know, Rich, you were on a break and Pete Thamel called in, and he said that he never seen someone throw the football as violently as Michael Penix Jr., and I'll never be able to forget that. I've never heard those words being used to describe someone throwing a football before. I think this kid, man.
What we said is it's the NFL Films ball he throws.
It's correct. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.